What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another review. This time we're taking a look at The Finest Hours, based on the true story of the impossible rescue of the SS Pendleton back in 1952. Okay, let's waste no time. Let's get right into it. My overall thoughts on Finest Hours is that I think this is a really well-made action thriller that pays respect to the true story about how the U.S. Coast Guard was able to save the U.S. Pendleton after that particular ship was destroyed by a nor'easter after it was split in half. Now, I don't know the real life telling of the SS Pendleton and everything like that, so I'm solely going based off the film. And from what I saw, I think this movie paid a very good tribute to the real life story. This movie did not feel cheesy. It didn't feel like that it glorified anything. Like, it felt very subdued, and it felt like it was paying respect to a story that really should be paid a lot of respect to, because men lost their lives and people could have died, and it was a good chance that they were going to die. So yeah, in that aspect, I think Finest Hours, like I said, I'm not overly familiar with the real life story, but I thought the movie itself gave that true story the respect that it deserved. Now, in terms of a movie just to itself, I thought this was a very good disaster type of movie. This movie is not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. It's not one of those movies that's going to really stand out. It's one of those movies that when you watch it, you're going to be entertained by it, but you're not really going to remember a whole lot of it. And that's just how it is as a movie itself. But when you're watching it, it's entertaining and it's very good. It's backed by a really good, solid cast that includes Chris Pine, Casey Affleck, Ben Foster, and Eric Bana. And I thought the four main principals of this film, and I thought they all did a really good job. Chris Pratt plays Weber, who is the one who leads the rescue of the SS Pendleton. I liked Chris Pratt in this movie. I thought he was really good. I like the relationships that he has with his crewmates. I like the budding romance he has with the woman that plays his fiance, though I don't think they get enough screen time. That's just my thought. That's just my thoughts on it personally. But I thought Chris Pine was an overall very solid lead in this movie. I like how he gave the character of Weber a very quiet charm, charisma, but he also plays him and he also plays him and he plays him a little very subdued. I thought it was fine. Eric Bana plays his commanding officer. I thought he was fine in the role too, but though I don't think he has enough scenes. That's just me personally. Ben Foster, he plays one of the crewmates who joins Weber on the rescue. He was fine in his role, no complaints with that. And Casey Affleck pretty much played the skipper of the SS Pendleton, who has to gather all his crew and pretty much try to keep them all together and keep them safe as they wait to be rescued. And I thought Casey Affleck was fine in his role as well. And I did like the supporting cast that was around Casey Affleck and the U.S. Pendleton, and the rivalry that develops with one of the shipmates who was trying to use lifeboats, but everyone's trying to convince him that it's suicide because the lifeboats are going to get eaten up within a matter of seconds before he even touches the water, which is what ultimately happens when they almost go on the lifeboats and the thing gets like torn to shreds. So I thought the little stories in this movie worked as well with inside the main story to itself. But like I said, the overall movie doesn't really tell but like I said, certain aspects of the film could have been done a little better. Like I said, Eric Bana's role could have been expanded upon more. I thought the romance could have been developed more. And yeah, and the movie is not. And the movie does have I'll say the movie credit. It doesn't wait to get started. Like, it gets started like within the first 20 minutes. The SS Pendleton gets hit by the nor'easter and everything gets torn to shreds. So it's never boring, and it does keep your attention. So I give it that. In terms of the production values, I thought they did a good job of recreating that 1950s atmosphere. I thought it looked good. I like the whole snowy type of weather that this movie takes place in. This movie does rely a lot on CG, and there's not really a whole lot of practical effects, which I do take issue with, because you could have squeezed in some practical effects here and there, but everything was mostly done CG. So, that kind of takes away from the experience a little bit, because you're not really interacting against anything. And like I said, this movie doesn't really have any principal character that you really follow. This movie doesn't have any performances that stand out. It just has really good grounded and solid performances that keep you interested. And the story, for the most part, I thought was really well handled. Okay, but like I said, in terms of production values, I think the movie looks fine. The directing by Craig Gillespie is solid. And even though this movie does rely heavily on CG, it's at least good CG. It looks fine. And the whole breaking down of the SS Pendleton is really directed really, really well. And it tries to have like that epic scale of Titanic, but doesn't even come close to even like capturing that dramaticness that James Cameron did when he did Titanic back in '97. I give the movie credit. It tries, but falls really short. But it does do a good job of building dramatic tension and creating this whole beat the clock atmosphere, because the crew has 4 to 5 hours to live if they're not rescued, since they're cracked in half and they're glorifiedly sinking. So I do like all that stuff. I thought the movie captured that really, really well. So yeah, with all that being said, I'm going to give The Finest Hours a solid 7 out of 10. I recommend it. It's a good watch. So yeah, those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment sections down below. Like the video and subscribe, and I'll check you back next time for more.